to be reviewing the X-Pole Aerial A-Frame rig. I currently have that set up in my room right behind me. I think it's about 8.5 feet. The smallest dimension is 8 feet, and then it goes all the way up to 11.5 feet. There's no way that's happening anywhere in my house, so it's really low to the ground. I currently have my silks attached to it, and the first thing that I rigged to it was my lyra. So it works for both, but it's just very limited on what I can do since it does have to be at such a low height. There are some things that you can do, like depending on how you rig it, to make it so that way you aren't touching the ground when you do certain things, but if you have it in your house, it's probably still going to be limited to some extent. I've never taken it outside. If I were to take it outside, I'd definitely be extending it to the highest setting, which is 11.5 feet, and I would have to buy a mat because currently I just have my carpet underneath there and I'm not really high off the ground anyway, so a mat would really just kind of prevent me from doing even more because it would lose that much more height. The setup is really simple as long as you have help. So it came with an instruction manual. The only thing that I will say is the instruction manual was outdated and it was for an older model. Most of it translated and was the same. However, there were some things that I had to kind of look up myself and educate myself on, and it did get kind of confusing for that period of time where I was trying to figure out, like, it said I needed a part that wasn't there and I had to figure out what to do to set up the rig that I have. So that was a little bit confusing, but other than that, it went pretty smooth, and I did have help to set it up. If you try to do it yourself in a small space especially, it's going to be kind of hard because when you're adjusting the legs, you need someone else to kind of hold the other side because it does get really uneven and there's no way you can support that weight while trying to adjust the leg. So the legs are what extends the rig and makes it taller. Since I haven't had it at its fullest height yet, I'm not really 100% on how stable it is when it's that high up, but at the height that it's at, it's very stable and it doesn't wobble at all. So I've seen some rigs before that are really, really wobbly and kind of make me nervous when I watch people on them because they just look so like shaky and unstable. This one definitely doesn't do that with my experience so far. So if you're looking for something really stable and that doesn't shake around, this one is definitely what I would recommend. So it comes with all of the tools required for the rig, and then anything that you have to rig to it, like say you're rigging the lyra, you have to buy all of the supplies for that separately. So you would definitely want to have a knowledge of what you need and how you're going to hook that up, because it doesn't come with anything to attach to the rig itself. It just has the rig and that's it. So you have to buy all of the extra tools for what you're rigging to it, and that is going to change and vary based on which apparatus you're trying to rig to it. I know that you can rig silks, hammock, lyra, and flying pole. I'm not sure about anything else. I think that is what they list in the site as what you can rig to it, but you might be able to rig more things to it. It would just be something we'd have to look into if you have another apparatus in mind. And they also have a customer support that you can contact that I've contacted a few times, and they were very responsive. So if you do have additional questions about it, they'll help you with it. Off the top of my head, it comes with the legs to connect to it, and then all the pins to like put in the legs and hold them up. The pins, without the pins you would be nowhere. It comes with sandbags and carrying bags, and I think on the X-Pole website they list all of the things that come with it. Overall, my experience with it has been pretty positive. I think I've had it up in my room for about a year now. It takes up like the majority of the space, so I usually, if I'm on my lyra, I'll take that down when I'm done with it and just assemble it when I want to use it again, and I typically just have my silks up. Definitely don't get this rig if you're thinking that you can just have it on the lowest height and keep it in a room in a small space. Like, you need a lot of space for this rig. I promise you, you won't be able to do anything on it if you have it any lower than like 8.5 feet. So that's where about I have it right now. I've never tried any other portable rigs, so I don't really have anything to compare to, but I have seen videos of other rigs and other people using rigs that look really, really shaky or like unstable. So in my opinion, this one is probably the best choice out of all of them that I've seen. So highly recommend it. Again, this model is the X-Pole aerial A-frame rake, and I'll link that in the description. That way if you would like to purchase this rake, you will be directed right to it.